Watching it. Same post?
Yeah, it's the same post. It will be a new post which will be created.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping it will solve the lag issue, and then everybody can hear Daniel very clearly. Daniel, can you hear me clearly?
Looks like Daniel's frozen.
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder what's going on today. Your internet, you and I have a good connection now, interestingly.
Yeah. We do have a good connection. There is a lag, I think, on Daniel's end, but we can address that. We can address that. 1 second.
Okay.
You can track the post. Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. I think there is some issue here in terms of bandwidth. 1 second. You can track the post. Sorry, I'm so sorry, guys. I think there is some issue here in terms of.
Technology problems there.
Oh, Daniel dropped off. Hopefully, he can, he will be back on again. I think. Yeah, I think there is, of course, with the. Okay, let me see. Hey, Daniel. There you are.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So hopefully everybody's here. I'm so sorry, guys. We can continue. Thank you, Daniel, again, and thanks a lot, Wayne, for joining. Thanks a lot, guys. Hopefully it's better this
All
time,
right.
and we can continue with our session here, right? So.
Yeah. Okay. So, like I was saying, just like Winnie was
Better this
all
time.
right sharing earlier, the content writing piece is divided into that three kind of groups of tool. And there's not many tool out there that does all those three things well, and does them in a way that's simple enough for users, anyone from new to even advanced user, to right away learn and feel excited about using the tool, right? I mean, building a tool is hard, but I mean, making a tool to so that it's exciting to use, it's pleasant to use, and it's simple enough so that you can right away learn with the key data as presented, are what we are aiming for when we first started Retizen, and it's still the philosophy of us doing it until now.
Yes. So there is a question, Daniel, around from Jason. He says, Daniel, can you remind us of those three things lost it in the lag issue?
Oh, okay. Well, as I was sharing, the three set of tools in the market right now, that they're solving three different kind of problems of the same workflows, right? If you're a content writer, you have to face with if the content writer in 2021, you can't just simply write a good piece of content, right? You have to write it correctly. So you have to. There's three set of tools in this whole workflows. The first is a set of tools for SEO focus, where you are trying to figure out how to do keyword research, right? You have to figure out which keyword you can write about, which keyword is less competitive, so you can rank fast and you can gain your organic traffic. And then you have to also figure out what keyword to group them together in a way that is easy and simple enough for you to do. This is like very SEO catering, right? So it's heavy databases. You got all these backlinks and all this data, and it's crazy, the list goes on. But then the second set is like phrase, right? Tools that specialize in content creation part only. So only give you that last stretch of the workflows where you already, you get you already know what keywords you put in, so you put that into the tool, and they will help you to quickly sort out the research, check out competitor and everything. But to me, it's still too much, right? You still have so much to learn using these tools. And the last stretch is AI writing, right? AI writing is sort of only the creative part. You put in your idea, and then eventually you get a tool to write for you. It's good, but it's only solve one piece of the puzzle. That's why I don't really believe in long form writing for digital writing in 2021. I mean, that's also the key part why Conversion AI have to kind of connect and partner with a Surface Cell, right? Because that's the two pieces of the puzzle that has to go together. So if you do long form writing and you rely heavily on other AI tools, you will eventually run into problems that your piece of writing won't perform. It sounds good to you, but it won't perform on Google, right? Because you like the last 80% of the work behind that. So that's why what we are trying to do is we're trying to create a tool that kind of do everything during that workflows, but in a way that simplified all of the difficult things, right? Like, how do you find a really good, high quality long tail keyword? So after years of doing SEO, we realized that it's very simple. Well, it's not simple, but it carries some of the very basic principle to look for keywords with very low competition with high volumes. These are the keywords that are hidden everywhere, and the database expand every day because it's Google. The user search every day, and that kind of groups that expands every day, and you want to be the first to find those keywords. And then you want to be able to group them together. This grouping thing, the manual clustering, when we first started out doing SEO, it takes us a lot of effort. I mean, it's not just time. It has to do a lot with training our employees. These are the principle for you to cluster. You have to group these people, these keywords together because A, B, C, D, E. You have all these things. You have to train your employee. You have to do it manually. It takes so much time and effort and all that thing. And still, the results are still not good. So we had to develop this cluster things, and when we started, we're like, oh wow, this is a great way to sort of grouping the keyword together. It's a great approach. So then that's sort of kind of two of the very hard problems for any content writer who started out doing digital writing in 2021 and then go into content creator. So we take a quite different approach with phrase. Like on phrase, you kind of have everything on one screen, right? Um, for me personally, I don't really believe in a workflows where you do multitasking on one thing. It's hard to deliver something quality. You have to break every process. It require a breakdown into steps, right? And that's why our content creation workflows break down into 3 steps. It has to start from the outlines. You have to be able to build very quality outlines, and then you build very quality keywords, and then you go into the writing part. So you focus each of the step. You only focus on one task, and you do and focus to doing it well. So if you do well all 3 tasks, eventually you leads to a very high quality piece of content that you not only people will love to read, but you will actually be able to rank it, right? And when we and in the future, which this is in 2021 is our goal. Is all this complex integration with Google NLP and GPT-3 and integration. And we're still going to carry that same philosophy into the production of this integration. We're not going to be another AI writing tool. You're out there, right? You click and then you choose and then it'll come out. But it's very heavily focused on how that AI writing will actually help your piece of writing rank, right? It's that's the problems we try to solve, because that's the end goal. You know, a lot of users, they use tool, they forget the end goals of what they actually use the tool for, right? The end goal of every piece of content writing is to rank and to get organic traffic and to convert sales. That's it.
Mhm.
You know,
Yes.
every tool have to do that exact things. You know, if it doesn't, then it shoot out of your toolbox.
Yes, and Daniel,
So
you mentioned regarding some of the features which you have planned with possible NLP or GPT-3.
yeah,
All these features you're going to make these available as part of your a lifetime deal. Are they going to be included in the plan? Would that be purchased as an add-on? Can you please clarify on that piece? I mean, if you haven't thought about it,
sure.
for sure you can say so. I mean, but we just wanted to ask you
No,
there.
no, no. No, we thought about it. I mean, for AppSumo users, you know, to us, I think we owed almost everything to AppSumo and also the lifetime deal community up to this point. You know, you guys have been an incredible force behind our innovation and our improvement in the last 2 months. Suggestions, feedbacks, and everything you kind of give us, it's been amazing. So I told my team, you know, these are the users that we want to honor the deals up to forever, right? So for NLP and also GPT-3 integration, we'll have it available for also AppSumo user. But of course, it's going to be in a limit, you know, because those are the fee we have to also pay, right? You all know that the API is not, it's not free. So it's not our own proprietary kind of technology for us to give out for free. If we can, we would. But
Yes.
this come into our expense, so that's why there will be a limit. But we'll do it in a way that you'll feel comfortable with it, and you feel comfortable paying about it. You know, because when you pay, you also will feel good about you paying because you are building a product that helps you and also helping us to grow with you. So I think that's a very that's our approach into this.
Okay, excellent. And we have a question here from Lyle. Lyle, thanks for asking the question. Can I use Writer's End for research for YouTube videos too? I need to start writing more for blogs too.
YouTube videos, we have not had that in our timeline yet. We when we first start our writers and we want to stay pretty focused on our goal, you know, and our goal is still by the end of 2021 um, for focus on the workflow for content creation, right? Starting from
Okay.
A to Z, you know, all the way, you know, everything has to have this perfect integration. So not yet for YouTube.
Okay. Okay. And then I have a comment here. I feel like Writer's Zen is a mix of keyword finder, phrase, and surfer SEO. And that's a comment from Joe, I believe. So,
Yes, I mean that I actually I think it's a very good observation. I mean, we take those three tools into heart when we build our tool. You know, we take so much inspiration from these guys. Mango is one of I admire their UX development of the way they build the tool, the way they build their workflows and everything. It was incredible product. You know, so is Phrase. I mean, the way they list out details, the way they kind of put out content and all that stuff, they're all
Mhm.
incredible products. And we take
Yeah.
so much admiration and also inspiration from the way they build their product into ourselves. So of course you will definitely see a reflection of that.
yeah, yeah, the phrase founders are actually in this community. They joined yesterday regarding a different
Oh,
issue. I think you might have seen it, but anyway, we won't touch on that right now. But yes, okay. We have a few more comments here. Very true. Sometimes artists focus too much on the paintbrush and not what they are painting. That's Joe again. Thanks, Joe. Um, Joe has a lot of good and smart comments. Lyle, can I generate content for the personal finance niche? That's a question from Lyle. So is that
of course, of
okay?
course. I mean, our tool build specifically to find for niche ranking. right? You can go on our YouTube channel and watch my second webinar. That's where I go a little more in depth on the workflows you can use to really look and do research on your niche. It's very simple. We make everything very simple to use, right? Just a few
Yeah.
clicks, and you'll probably be able to find a very good set of keywords. And from that set of keywords, you could literally just put that into Content Creator, and you just go. And the flow is one, two, three. So
That's
Okay.
fantastic. Yeah, I agree with it because I've been playing around with it a lot over the last week and a half. And one of the things that I've been impressed by, without even really understanding how the tool works, is you kind of play with it and you go, oh, look, here's some topics. And you go, well, what's the significance of that? And then you start realizing, well, the topics are the bigger conversation happening around a keyword. And then within that topic, there are keywords. And then you start drilling in and you start. What I was really impressed by, one of the features was that all in title search, just for those who haven't used Writer's Zen or haven't tried it yet. So there's a button you click, and then what it does is it goes through and searches for the competitiveness of that keyword using what Daniel's team calls all in title, and then it also generates what's called, I think it's a keyword, some kind of keyword ratio or goal ratio or something like that.
keyword golden ratio. Yeah,
Yeah. And then
keyword
you can
golden
then
ratio.
filter by that and say, okay, I want the keywords with the best golden ratio with, let's say, a minimum of 1,000 searches per month. And like you say, Daniel, then you end up with a handful of keywords that actually are worth going after. And you
Yeah.
can do that all within
Yeah,
probably
and
1 or 2 minutes. Sorry.
yeah, dude, it's just a few clicks. It's just a few clicks away, and then you get to the place where this is the keyword. And you don't have to. A lot of people have asked us about, like, why don't you put on more details on backlinks, on follow DRPR, like all these crazy numbers.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reason is that it makes the tool a lot more complicated. It's kind of
Yeah.
like it's kind of like when you go shopping now, right? You go shopping now, so you have so many choices. Like, you
Yep.
go to buy jeans, there's a concept called paradox of choice, right? And the issue with paradox of choice is that you can make a good decision because you have so many choices, and you're always in this sense of regret constantly because you feel like you have not considered all the data given for you to make the correct choice, right? And I don't want
Mm-hmm.
our users to feel that way. I mean, a lot of tools does it very well, right? I mean, take Ahref for example. They do an amazing job educating their their followers, on how to utilize the data that they collect over the years of developing. Um, but that tool only fit to certain groups of people who are very technical driven, but it doesn't fit to all. I mean, if you ask a new content writer, to, hey, get on Ahref and do your keyword research, even if he or she watch all the videos, guidelines, and whatnot, it's gonna take them at least like a month until they get some basics of, okay, now I can do some keyword research. It's just data, and data is nothing if you don't know how to derive the insight out of it, right? And again, come back to the end goal. If it doesn't serve the end goal, don't try to push for it.
Yeah. And I mean, there's lots of examples of that. Recently, I threw up like a single video, right, on YouTube. I know your product's not to do with YouTube, but the concept is the same. Like if I'd have sat there and been worried by the 1,000 different details, what kind of thumbnail does this need to have? Do I have the perfect tags? Do I have the perfect um, whatever else it needs to have in there, and all of the description and the timestamps and the chapters and everything like that? If I had done that, I literally would not have done that video. But I just clicked on the record button, knowing that my audience wanted to see this information, knowing that it was valuable to them and that it wasn't too saturated. And I threw it up with no other details in it. And now it ranks, let's say, number 2 in YouTube for that one keyword. And going back to your point, if we're inundated with details constantly, we won't get anything done. And what I feel is, though, that your user interface and user experience has done has cleverly cut away those details so that the person can get on with creating value. And, it enables content creation, right? So, yeah, I love that.
Okay, so I'm just going to cover a few more comments here.
It's always been our philosophy. Yes.
Go ahead, Daniel. Go ahead.
Things a bit.
Yes, go ahead, please.
No. Go ahead with the comment.
Okay, so just comment from Jason. Love that supporting content ranking and converting to sales is the goal of the developers. Very positive. I think so as well, Jason. Thanks for the comment. Then we have that's excellent. I'll check the webinar out. I've tested some writers for personal finance and hasn't created usable content, but this is exciting. Thanks a lot, Lyle. I certainly encourage you to check out Writers Zen. Of course, it's on AppSumo, and it's going to go away very soon, right? Is that so, Daniel?
Yes.
Am I? Yeah.
Yes. If you have a chance, grab this deal now. I mean, that's like my personal advice to you, because we'll never go back. We'll never go back with this good of a deal ever again. I mean, if you look at our pricing page, it's equal to our platinum deal, in terms of credits that we give out. And we will likely go back to AppSumo when we want to introduce a very big sort of like plan in 2022. It's to me, it's something that is a final piece of Writer's End puzzle. And I think around there we will likely go back and to kind of introduce that things to our community, but it won't ever be this good of a limit. You look at our limit list. There's no way a single user would ever use it all in 1 month. That's how big is the limit is. So if you have a chance, grab it. And if you in some way still considering of refunding, don't. There's some crazy, amazing, exciting updates coming up. We already start our first phase of integration with Google NLP and GPT-3. We've just updated actually yesterday the first phase. So the first phase is summarization and extraction, and now if you start building your outlines on your content creator, if you go in and you start a new article now, you're gonna start seeing some really amazing sort of like outline builder support that's completely different from the last version, right? And the next upcoming version, which should coming out soon too, is start the integration with Google NLP, where we will start to show you the common sentiment of your competitors. For example, if you go into a person, let's say your personal finance niche, right, and you search a certain keywords, will now tell you that what is Google's sentiment toward this kind of piece of writing. And from there, you could actually tailor your writing toward that as well. And then we'll show you that what Google bots, when they go into each of the competitor, what do they see in terms of entity? So we will suggest you what kind of entity that actually majorly common between the competitor, and is the kind of entity that you may want to include in the list of keywords or topic that you want to have in your writing. So those are second phase, and then eventually we'll get to the AI writing part, which is the last phase of content creation workflow. So those are very exciting updates, and you don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
So yes, buy now.
Excellent. I mean, I personally have purchased it. I have yet to explore it, but it's okay for users to buy multiple accounts, I assume. But there is a question from Joe here,
yes,
which is related to that. Why isn't the deal stackable? The data costs are very high, I guess. So is there any way for people to stack the deals? Can they reach out to your support if they buy 2 codes? Or how do you plan to do that?
Our team decided since the beginning that we don't allow stackable codes. the few reasons. One is the limit is quite high, and also, like Win said, if you check out all the own title, one of the things I want to really make clear, also in this interview is if you compare the own title, if you go around anywhere in the market right now and you check for the tool that does or check own title in bulk, you'll see pricing is extremely different from what we offer and from what they offer, right? We are right now around 100 times cheaper than them. I think around that.
What's the tool? What's the
I think
tool
around
that
100
you're?
times cheaper.
What is that tool, Daniel? I just want people to go check that out and check out their pricing for themselves for those kind of searches.
Yeah. What's your question? Sorry.
What's the name of the tool that does the all in title search, and how much do they charge for that search?
Well, the tool that one of the major tool right now is allentitle.co, and they charge you $30 a month for 600 keyword. All right, so $30 a month for 600 keyword, and for us it's 150,000 now for $50. So 50,000 keyword a month for $50.
Yeah, and people that buy
not include and everything else. Yeah, and everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, no. For AppSumo it's 200,000. So.
Oh, really? Heck.
Yeah.
See, I bought the license,
but
I haven't actually. I'm still on the free trial because I've been trialing it to figure out, to do a review. I'm going to do a proper review of your product at some point. So I don't see any of those limits. But yeah, I made sure to get my my license after chatting with you last time.
Yeah. It's 200,000. You should. That's like you won't ever use up 200,000 a month. I can.
So,
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so what's the ideal workflow? So can you just walk us through? People can watch the videos themselves. I encourage everybody here who's wondering about Writers In, go and just sign up for the free trial. It costs you nothing. You just chuck your email in there, and you can have a play around. Do it even as we're doing this interview if you want, because you want to probably get a little bit of context about what we're talking about.
Yeah, if we can, before we go into the workflow, I know when you have a lot of questions, but can we take this question? Can Daniel share any details around their feature plans for their content?
Yeah, whatever you think
soon
best.
To be released, right? So
like I was just sharing just now. I mean, the content creator event. Well, there's a few part, right? The first part is right now our focus is on single user workflow. So if you are one solo user, you come in, I want to make sure, our team want to make sure that the tool will provide you everything you need from keyword research all the way to writing your content, right? All the way to even support you in writing using AI. So that's what GPT-3 is all about, right? I mean, GPT-3 is common resources. Now, how you optimize the resources is a different story. And so that's going to take us some time to really figure out how to integrate that into. We have already a vision to that, but to really truly figure out what could do in terms of really quality output, that's takes some time to play around. So that's our focus. I mean, and also as I was sharing, the first phase is now integration with Google NLP. Having Google NLP is like SurferCell, right? SurferCell, they also have that NLP function where you turn on. It's same. Essentially, it's the same thing. I think they use two NLP partner, which is the IBM Watson and also Google NLP. So NLP stands for natural language processing. Essentially, is what Google are reading your content now. Before they don't have AI. Right, in 2013, I think I answered some user about this question a while ago. Is they were asking for TF-IDF. So TF-IDF is essentially a method back in the day where Google AI has not developed fully. So they use a sort of mathematical approach to solve this extraction of meaning problem. So they measure the distance between word and they kind of calculate ranking up the priority of those keyword in your content right? But the method never really get like pick up too heavily in public, because AI taken over, right? And by 2018, we will start after, I think, after the update of 2018, you start to see this to see Google AI start to taking over. Google bots, Google AI, they start to understand the meaning of your context. They start to be able to kind of extract whatever your content are about, the kind of sentiment you are writing about, and the kind of entity you are talking about, the kind of groups. If you look at the list of NLP category, you're gonna go, it's crazy, super details, breaking down into every piece of category you could possibly think of. And that's what Google see, your content. When they look through your content, they see all the stuff that they're supposed to see on the web. It's a bot, right? It's a Google bot. So it's not a human that reads your content. So you have to follow their own understanding of your content as well in order for you to rank. You want to look good, not just in the eye of human, but also in the eye of Google bot. So that's why the integration of Google NLP are very significant to our users' content creation workflows. So that's second step, and the last final stretch would be AI writing. But the AI writing we develop, it has to be, it's going to be different. It's going to be different.
Interesting. So you got. Let's not break away from the screen, but just in basic terms, what's the general flow? Like somebody logs into your tool, what's the first thing that they would do? Would they start with an idea? Like, okay, today I want to write something. It's in my business. Where do I start? What's the process? What would you do if you were taking on a new project for the first time and you didn't have a large background knowledge in that area of the business?
Well, I think the first things I want.
Is there anything you want to share, or are we okay? I mean,
sorry? Are you asking me?
Yeah. Do you want to share your screen, or you're okay to just talk, right? I mean, yeah.
That's up to you. If you find it helpful, you can share your screen. It's up to you if you want to do that or not.
Yeah. Let me. I probably go briefly over the flow first, and then I probably share when needed to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like for example, if I go into a new niche, completely new, right? And what I do in the first stretch is I need to know in this niche what are my competitors talking about, right? The first thing you want to know is not what people want to hear, but your competitor talk about, because your competitor already did the research for you. They already been in the niche, they already been there, they already rank in the keyword. So whatever they put up, the content they put up are very much the kind of content that they already did the research on, and Google already think that they're important, right? So you want to start from there first, right? And you will go into topic discovery, right? Because that's what topic discovery is about. What we do in the back end of our algorithm is we scan through content of the top 100 URLs of that particular keyword, and you want to put in the seed keyword. You don't want to put in a long tail keyword. Long tail keyword, you're not going to find anything, right? But you want to put in a seed keyword. Let's say indoor plants is your niche, right? Or like let's take that example of the person earlier, it was personal finance. So you have some keyword in your personal finance part, and you put that in. And so first thing is that we're going to give you a wide range of every single topic out there that your 100 competitors are writing about, right? So you will be able to scan through that topics, and you start seeing patterns, right? Okay, these particular keywords or topic related to finance are being talked about. So you take note of those patterns together, and you will have sort of like this pyramid of different topics that you can build around. So the first would be your seed keyword, and then you can build supportive topics, right? And then you have some second level supportive topics. So then eventually you kind of have a good picture in mind of, okay, this is my competitors and this is what they're doing. And if you go into topic discovery, you'll know that you can click on, probably can share screen here.
Cool. Okay, so you go through the topic discovery and you figure out the related topics that are relevant to what doing, and you have a little tree that you're mapping out. Is that something
Yeah.
that you can do in your tool, like the keywords, the topics?
The key. What? Sorry, I think I missed your question.
So you put your seed keyword in. The tool, as you got here, generates a whole bunch of
Yeah. So as you can see here, the seed keyword is indoor plant. It's the short keyword, is is a main keyword, and it's sort of like this beginning niche, right? So you start with indoor plants is your name, and the tool will return to you, all of the. Well, I usually put it on widely because I want to see the bigger picture. So relevancy by widely, then you'll probably be able to see like 100 of topics that relate to it. 100 topic discover. You probably can generate more, but I think the 100 is a good enough amount of topics for you to kind of see the major picture. And then you can order by search volume. So you'll see what are the major focus of your users when it comes to this kind of topic that follow with indoor plants. So if you see you do by search volume and you do indoor plants, you'll see Venus flytrap, right? You will never be able to figure this out. That people talk a lot about Venus flytrap when you talk about indoor plants, right? If you do simple research on your Google, there's no way in anywhere you'll be able to find this kind of keyword. So you click on it, and there will be like about 7 headlines, and these are all from your competitor talking about exactly this. And you'll see that, okay, this is a very interesting keyword, and this is a very interesting topic that I want to kind of keep in mind. So you then just keep going through, and as you go through, you'll see a bunch of different kind of topics that are less popular, but also really, really good ideas to have. So you can note these down, and you will see some that has sort of like patterns, right? For example, if you see, I think small plants, orange tree, like fig plants. Here you have small plants. So let's say small plants here, and you have up here another small house plants, and as you pull down, you see, let's say, a couple more small plants. So that you see that, okay, this could be a topic that a secondary topic, because you see a pattern, right? That means it's more relevant. It's just breakdown to different kind of keyword and headlines. So it's if you're doing this process, you'll be able to kind of build a very good visualization of the overall topic that you want to write about. And from this point, you then draw, once you have that pyramid of topics, right, and you start putting that topic into Keyword Explorer, right? Let's say you have Venus flytrap, right? You can copy this. You start going to Keyword Explorer, search. Right away, you'll be able to see. Let's see how many keywords we can generate here. So we got about 566 keywords, but total search volume is about 313,000. These are very good keywords, right? Because you have it's not many keywords that suggested. Right? Over here, you see you only have 566 keywords, but the total volumes that it can generate is about 313,000. Well, I guess, sorry, our tool take from two database. So actually, the total amount of keyword go up to 2,527 keywords, right? So and the total search volume is 769,000. So from here, then you start building that group of keyword, and you write about that topic. Venus flytrap is one of the topic that support your niche plan. So then once you write all that, and then you also write your main niche, main keyword, seed keyword plan, you do this exact same thing to all of it. With just one indoor plans, you'll be able to write, hundred of articles from just that pillar of topics, right?
Okay, so we start with the seed keyword
plans. You can also do.
And you have indoor plants, and then you've come up with, let's say, a number of keywords like you got the one at the top, and then underneath that you got Venus flytrap, and then you got another one underneath that's indoor plants. And so each one of these makes a category underneath that seed keyword, and then underneath those you can go even deeper again, right?
Yeah, and each of these keywords, you go into Keyword Explorer and you do the exact same thing again. You check all in title. You look for really niche keyword, and then you group them together in cluster, and you put into content creator, and you start writing. So for all these
Can you
topics,
just show
it's all
the
related
guys
to your
the
niche.
all in title? Because I think that's really, sorry, I just think it's such an amazing feature. I just want everyone to see this.
Yeah.
So
and there is also a question
right
here related to that. It's that's actually a good way to look at it. Question though is, if they already put out content around a topic, do I build on that as my base, or do I create similar content? So I think Lyle is referring to the thing you mentioned with like
the
Google
topic
rank.
discovery.
Yeah, topic discovery. Yeah, and if the competitor has topic ranked in Google, right? So
Yeah, I mean, I would say that you should build that on your case as the lead, because a lot of this topic, if you do keyword research, you then will figure out how competitive the topic is by looking for how many keywords that have the low competitiveness, yet high volume, right? Like I'll do this for this one particular research.
okay.
Keyword, which is Venus flight chart, right? Venus flight chart. I mean, I don't. This is gonna take a while. The own title usually take us quite a bit of a bit of computing power. But you see, like for example, if you do keyword like indoor plants, we have it here.
It does take a little while once you do that little thing, because there's a lot of computation going on, guys. So when you see that little thing going on, sorry, Daniel, carry on. we got to look at that lag is really
so. Yeah, so I have the keyword indoor plants ready. So as you see, indoor plants, for example, the list of keyword you have like 3,833 keywords, right? I mean, how are you gonna ever go through this list and extract out keyword that actually meaningful and make sense to you, right? So our method is that we don't rely on so much on all these data, backlinks and whatever. We just simply give you the own title data. So own title is the easiest way to sort of see how competitive your keyword is compared to other keywords, right? So own title essentially is how many websites that try to use that keyword in their title, right? So for example, if let's say here, this keyword, indoor plants that need a lot of water, have 0 own title. So if I click on it, this is the SERPs ranking. Plants that you can kill by overwatering. 6 indoor plants you absolutely can't kill by overwatering. 16 amazing. None of this website has this keyword in their title, right?
Yes.
And how do you get ranked fastest? You get ranked the fastest where your keywords have right away in the title of your content, right? So this is very easy for you to sort of find that keyword. So you literally, if your website are an okay website, it has some age, it has some sort of like a good quality score by Google, and you have what is it, history? I mean, you have it's already been established for a while. You probably can rank this keyword in just a matter of like a week, right? If you build a content, you have this keyword as your title, you write a piece of content in it, you probably can rank in a week. So in a week time, you already get 140 search volume.
Yeah.
that in that month. So and also what you can do is sorry.
So as a guide, if you're looking at a keyword to write for, obviously you're wanting the KGR to be as good as possible. But also, from a cutoff point of view, where would you cut off? Like, is it 100 searches per month? Is it 50? Is it 1,000? Does it depend on the industry for you?
It still depends on the industry, and also it still depends on the list of keyword as well, right? I mean, if you go into a list of keyword that the search volume is low, you want to get the volume as low as possible. I would say low is about 20 or 10. I usually just do 10 just 20? To cover the bases. Why? Because majority of these search volume have a latency with Google's database, right? It's not
Yes.
it's not real time, right? Most of the keyword that show like 0 search or 10 search typically has more search than that. Google just doesn't update or
Yes.
not yet update, right? Why it has
Yeah.
more search and why does it have low search volume? It's because Google doesn't want you to know that it has high search volume. That way you would actually uh, because they want to make money from Google Ads. So by showing you a lot of keywords with lower search volume, then they just said, hey, why don't you just run ads, right? But the actual search volume is a lot higher. So you see, you have to understand that Google is still a corporation. They want to make money. So whatever data that they show you, is particularly for those keywords that has lower amount of search volume,
Yep.
take it with a grain of sand, right? You typically there will be a latency of their updates, and also, usually the search volume is a lot higher than whatever they show on the database. So that's what we learned over the year. We even run a campaigns where we look for keyword that search volume really low and with CPC almost zero, and we run ads on it, and we run directly in US, and it costs us so I think we run to 1,000 clicks, and it costs us like literally about $10 or something. It's so cheap. It's
What?
because that exactly is it's I mean it's all about the process of you look for keywords like this, and you look for, let's say let's CPC maximum 0.1. Oops, 0.1. Oh, this is a bug. All right. I need to search volumes less than 0.1, but I cannot set. So this is the bug on my tool. Need to fix that. All right, let's say 1. Well, 1 is too much. 1 is too much. 1 will get too high, but I'll fix this one. So what it is that you could actually just set it as as low of CPC as possible, right? And you will actually sort out this list and find, and you realize that there's so many keywords that have 0 cost per click, because there's nobody really bid on that keyword yet, right? And you
Yeah.
could just literally run ads on those, and you will get clicks. So
Yeah, amazing.
that's another way to use to optimize our keyword research. Yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine
So
that you'd want to run a paid ad campaign initially. Like if you did this research first, right, and you came up with a tree of, main topic,
yeah.
subtopics, and then under each subtopic you had, let's say, 20 or 30 keywords doing this kind of research. Then if you set up an AdWords campaign, not with the intention of running AdWords long term, but with the intention of figuring out what the true volume was, then you could then use that as getting that data back. You could figure out what your priority was in terms of your content creation. Is that a reasonable workflow?
Yes, for sure. I mean, you literally can just take out all the CPC that's low, and you run an AdWords campaign. Probably costs you nothing. Very cheap. Around last time, I was so blown away by the results. Clicks going crazy and everything. And it was just simply keywords that people don't know about. There's nobody know about those keywords to bid. So so you could definitely do that, and testing out which keyword is up on your priority.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I love that.
So,
okay, I'm taking careful notes here because this is exactly what I'm going to be doing in the next day or two.
So we're seeing a lot of good comments about and compliments about the UI, and that's Jason's comment. My clean freak OCD really appreciates the writers and UI too. And then saying, Jason is saying again, yeah, sure, you're talking my language with that. I hate cluttered interfaces, turns me right off the tool. And Joe is saying as well, Jason, yes, I can't stand tools that are too busy. They're triggered. Can you talk a little bit about UI? What goes into thinking, how you test it, like what kind of who's designed the UI? What do you how like a little bit about the overall user experience as well, right? UX. Yeah.
I think it comes to part of my obsession with good UI as well. I admire products that has amazing UI and UX. but I'm not a designer myself. I just have I think for me it's just I have a sense of what looks good and what doesn't. So I put kind of very that high standard to the design team, and I work with them very closely. I mean, I think I spend the most amount of time actually not with the tech team, but with the design team. You know, if you ever in product development, you would know that this is not easy to achieve, right? It's
No.
it takes so much of do and then break it, and then do and then break it and then redo
Mhm.
again. I think we redo this so many times. I don't even remember since the beginning, even from June, even from when we first launched Rather Than. You know, we kind of did so many things, and then we just kind of, oh no, it doesn't work, and we take it out and then redo again. Right. And I work really super closely with my design team to do that. And even if you see, you know, little details like if you hover on a certain button and there's action toward it, you know, those are all
Mhm.
thought through. Those are
Yes.
all like very, very thought. It's not random that is there, right? So
Yeah.
I think a good UI, it has to start with the thought. The first thought is that how you have to be able to simplify whatever your thinking is, right? And then you have to know that whatever design it the design is basically a way of interact with your users, right? So interaction means that everything, every button, every detail, it has to feel alive, right? Like even if you see the scroller here, we design our own scroller. We don't actually use the scroller given by Bootstrap, right? A lot of this we custom build, little bit here and there. So all of this, even the hover on the search bar, so all that are thought through, right? So
Mm.
that's why when a good design is when you use it and you don't even think of how good it is. You just use it as it's natural. So a bad
It just
design
makes
would be
sense.
just like, yeah, it just makes
It
sense.
just makes
Exactly.
perfect sense.
It's
Yes.
just
Yeah.
oh, it's just feel natural to the point where
Mhm.
you don't even question it at all. So a bad design, well, I wouldn't say a bad design, but I mean one of the things I don't like, for example, Android phone, right? When you scroll on an Android phone and you scroll all the way until, well, the first thing is the latency on Android phone are slightly slower than that of iPhone. But when you scroll on an Android phone all the way until the end of a web page, it stops. It stopped when it hit the bottom of the web page. But on iPhone, it will actually pass over and move as if you pull it up. So the web page will go up and then bounce back. So
Mhm.
that's natural design, right? And
Yeah.
for us, those are the things that we pay attention so much on when we design our tool, right? I mean, if you look at our content creator, um, you'll see an incredible amount of details we put in. For example, um, this hover this hover button, if you click on it, it will go into the title. If you go on description, you click on it, it go into the description. You click on H1, H2, it will go into H2 here. You go in here,
Uh-huh.
it will become right away. It will become the list down here. So like what the detail would be when what like for example, if you keep going, example this before in the previous version, when you update this list, right? The scroller will stay where you are, so you don't feel
Yes.
like it was updated.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
in this last update, what we did is that I told my team I want it to be so that when you click on it, it will jump right away to the bottom, so that user will know that we just update that part for you. So those are simple little attention to details that we pay attention very much to when we build this tool, right?
mhm.
Everything from the shadow, how much of the shadow on here, how much the curve, how many pixels, what is the design system behind it, is the fonts here. I mean, I personally know all that details. So those are
Wow. I
the
mean, that's
I
like
think
Steve Jobs kind of
that's
a thought process, you know?
what you kind of have to go crazy about it in order to create something that looks and feel natural, right? It takes a lot of work in the beginning, but once you're done with the planning, usually it's a much easier. It's a much easier job after that, right? And also you work so close to your team. Your team also will understand that philosophy of you when they start design something. They know the standard, right? Like even the stage of this, when it was a lot of people when they design things, they don't think about it. Like this is doing, and once you're done, this is done. So the color is different, the changing and all while you're doing is different. So just little things, Of course, our user won't. I don't think they will ever notice it, but they do subconsciously, right? They do subconsciously. At some point, you will feel the natural feeling when you start using the tool. When you hover here, there's a little shadow pop up, and little things like that. So
I'll tell you how it manifests for me. So when I'm in a tool and all of those things are devoid of consideration, what I feel is confusion. I feel overwhelmed. I feel resistance. I feel like this feeling in the deep pit of my stomach where I don't want to be in this reality. And so I close it down and I go do something else,
Yeah. Oh, I totally feel you. I mean, I use so many tools, and most tools give me that feeling. No tool out there give me the feeling of opening a MacBook Pro. When I first get my MacBook Pro, it's like you open it and you just look at the design and you're like, I want to be with this tool. I want to be with this piece of design. I mean, that is good design. I mean, you look at MacBook, right? This design has been around for more than 5 years, but why don't they change it? They don't need to. A design that is so timeless, you just kind of freaking look at it and you're like, I'll buy it next year. They just need to update the freaking chip, and that's it. I'm in. I'll buy it because I look at it. I don't put any sticker on it. The purity of the design itself is just a piece of art, right?
Amazing.
And so, right. I mean, that's what Apple does. Everything from. I mean, I was watching this developing conference of them when they talk about this this movement. I mean, I'm not sure if you can see like this movement of the phone when you pull up from the bottom of the screen, and it goes like this, right? And then from there you move this edge of the screen out. These guys freaking does that. They measure by 0.0 something seconds, and they actually have to run the graph to figure out at what moment is the optimal moment of the screen to kind of go smaller. And I sit there and I watch. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the kind of details that bring Apple to the next level of design, right? Yeah. And I mean, like a lot of our users, they were asking for more customization, for more data, and for more all kind of this stuff. The thing about it is that you think that you need it, but a lot of time users don't need it, right? Like you use an Apple, the things that people love it so much is because they don't have to think about how much custom they have to do. So
100%.
It's kind of our philosophy when we design this tool. Yeah.
So I don't know, Daniel, if you are watching some of the comments in Facebook, but you're receiving a lot of compliments for your passion for the UI, the functionality, and people want to also have a beer with you. But it's early morning in Vietnam. But cheers to that.
Cheers.
Joe has one. There you go.
Okay. Cheers.
So
cheers, guys. Thanks.
and Jason has one. Hopefully everybody's grabbed one. So cheers to Daniel and cheers to Right at Zen. And
Cheers.
Grab a beverage break and we can continue.
Well, I got it here. My morning coffee.
Nice.
Excellent.
Thanks, guy. Yeah. Well, I'm really glad you asked about UI and UX. I mean, it's always been my passion, really. And I want my product to speak about it for me. We're creator, right? And my passion is to create things that people love to use. So
yeah, I mean, everybody appreciates the thought process which has gone into the UI UX, and if that part is sorted, then of course there is a lot of functionality which is going to come in the feature as well, and users feel a lot more confident, right? So
so just kind of finishing off a thought that you were finishing off on before. So you've done all your keyword research, and in this tool, in the content creator tool, you start with a keyword that you've finished researching. Is that correct?
Yeah. So for example, you'll get, let's say over here, I have quite a few, like for example, these things. One of the keyword that is pretty good, or in title, data would be indoor plants, no sunlight. So you can just simply click on it. Oh, by the way, in this update, I'll just we just developed this where you, for smaller screen, you can close your project list and open it if you want now, so that you can optimize the screen size for 13 screen inches. So you click on indoor plants, no sunlight, for example. Now you start building your content, right? So from here, you just simply, oh, this is the last the article, but you just then simply build the outlines be around that. Once you get to keyword to include, you can import from the list of keyword that you cluster already. So once you have the own title, you do keyword import, and you cluster them together, making sure that if you rank one keyword, you will be able to rank the rest of the keyword. So that way, once you put them you put them together, it's very logical for this keyword to be together in one piece of content, right? So if you, let's say you know that, I wonder if I have it here. I don't think I have one that is here.
So
yeah,
the tool itself will suggest keywords, or do you bring in your own? So like when you put in a keyword and it opens it up, does the tool suggest a group of keywords that you should use, or do you import your own, or can you do a combination of both?
Yeah, so it's a combination of both. So on the right screen, we call it to include, meaning that this is a list of keywords that you should have in your you will have in your content writing, right? The original list, whatever we list first, are actually the keyword we suggest you guys do. So how do we come up with this? We actually come up with this using our own NLP algorithm. So we look through all 20 competitors, and then we look for all these keywords that they have used in their writing. So you can actually click on them and see how they were used in all of the competitor, right? And as you see it, you'll be able to, we kind of measure that against the volumes, against the relevancies to your main seed keyword. And then we'll kind of suggest you should have this amount of keywords in your writing. And this is the amount of time you should have, it should be mentioned, right? So this is 11 times, this is 5 times, 4 times. So these are preset by our algorithm. But then also we give the freedom for our users to also look through the list and pick keywords that they think that will be meaningful for their writing for them. Also, we have here, it's called opportunity keyword, meaning that this keyword is a keyword that their competitor don't have, and you can consider to kind of put it in. Yeah.
Right.
So
because with one content piece,
so,
you can rank for more than one keyword, right? You know, you're not just ranking for one keyword; you can rank for a lot more.
Yeah. So you can add your own, or you can import more from list. So whatever it is, you can do anything in here. And you see here's a little touch of design that's I thought is very, very cool from our design team. Is if after you add so many, right, and at the end of the day you still like, oh no, I don't think I want to write this many. I just want to come back to normal, the original list, but I don't know how to get back to original list. You can just click on here, and there's a button called reset to default. And you click on it, and the list will come back to the original list. So
gotcha.
So you don't have to do all the work. Anyway.
Very smart.
Yeah. So then once you're done with all this, you go into writing, and same, you have the outlines, you have the keywords, and here's a competitor. There's the questions that you can refer to. It's kind of like phrase-like. So once you get in here, it's phrase-like, right?
Yes.
We take a bit and pieces of sort of the design language of phrase when you get to here. But what we add on was this SEO kind of analysis where you click on here, and then there's some suggestion that you can do to your writing.
Yeah.
I mean, I have heard a lot of cases that people using our tool and they able to rank a bunch of keywords in a very short time using our tool. So I hope soon we'll be able to deliver to you some case study, more case study, um,
Yeah.
so you
Nice.
can get a good good picture of how to use the tool better.
Yeah, yeah, true. One of the things that last time we spoke, I mentioned to you about um, the power of a community, and I quizzed you about it. Like, this is a fantastic tool, but paired with a community that shows you all the ins and outs about how to get a result, specifically with WriterZen, regardless of the industry that you're in, I thought was a really powerful idea. Probably would increase the value of the tool itself probably by 2 or 3 times, because as you and I know, it's not really about the tool, it's about the result you can get with the tool. And so
Yeah,
by having
yeah.
a community like that would be really powerful. Is that something you've given some thought to, and what's the thoughts, what's the plans around that? And
Oh
just
yeah, for
curious.
sure. I mean, I was actually I wrote it down. I was loving the idea, and then I already discussed with the marketing person, so Ritika, my CMO, in
Yeah,
regard to that. We're thinking of probably trying to get that out once all of this workflow done. So
yeah,
we right now our focus we have so much work to do, and right now our focus is still on the first phase, of kind of wrapping up this is the product, this is the knowledge base, this is the marketing material,
yeah.
this is the community, it's everything. And once that's done, we'll be able to sort of move into the next phase where we start vertical optimization on every aspect of the
Mhm.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic. So,
Yeah.
how long before the AppSumo deal ends? How long have the people got left to before they can get a license?
7 days. 31st of July will delist from AppSumo. So um, FOMO now, is the
Yeah,
time to be. Yeah.
yeah. Go get it, guys. Otherwise, you're going to miss out, and then everyone will be looking for it, as they usually do.
Yes. No, it's really is the case. A lot of people, because the thing is, what I'm sure of is that the next couple updates are going to be really amazing. I mean, it's hard to kind of share in when you don't see it yet, but it's gonna, like a lot of people were saying, like we should just stick with keyword research, but honestly, because we know the capability of our team when it comes to content creator. It's just that it needs some time to deliver quality product. Like one of the things I always talk to my team about is that delivering a product is not hard, but delivering a very high quality product is.
Hmm.
And GPT-3 is a resource everyone can use, but how to utilize it to the maximum of its ability to help our user rank and to help them make money from it, that's a different story. And that's our goal. Our goal is not go out there and try to be another AI writing tool like everyone else. We have a
Yes.
very clear goal and very clear focus in mind, and we'd like to stick to it.
Well, I think there's an even bigger question than how to rank, and I think and I think you're taking the right approach to answering it, which is, how can I create a extraordinary value for my audience? Because by doing that, they're going to be far more connected to me and far more likely to do business with me. Not simply click on my website and decide that it looks spammy and then click out again. Which
Mm.
I think people kind of like sometimes lose perspective of. It's not just about getting traffic; it's about converting that traffic into a long-term relationship where you're generating customer lifetime value.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that attention to detail that you're taking with really thinking about how to use GPT-3 in a meaningful way, not just to generate random gobbledygook that gets you ranked.
Yeah.
It
Well,
reminds me of the tools that we used to use probably 10 years ago. They used to have these tools that would literally go out and scrape probably 200 different websites and just join it together in random ways. And yes, you would be able
Yeah.
to rank websites, but it was just horrible. It was a horrible user experience, and how much business did you generate from that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a market for every tool. There's always a
True,
market for
true,
every
true.
tool, Yeah. It's just that for us, we have when we develop things, we can just develop things with no attention to details. I mean, it's not really in our DNA.
Yep.
So that's why usually things it takes a bit longer than other tool to do. But I think we've done a very quick job already so far. I mean, we start launching in May 18th, and by now we already run through, I think, 3 major updates.
And how
So
long was the
hopefully
build
by
up
end,
from conceptualization? So you started, I think you were saying you started a couple of years ago on this project. I mean,
yeah, well, not this project particular. We were running both I was running 2 companies, so we were doing the software because I find that that's going to be my ultimate goal, is to design software. Before that, we were just doing also SEO. Well, it's SEO agency, and digital marketing agency. So we were kind of working both hand in hands, and as we were growing, we were we start to kind of put a lot more focus into writing the software. So we kind of did a few of our own software in the beginning. Takes us about a year and a half to kind of get used to and build a team and start to kind of embed the philosophy. And for me to also, it's a journey for me to realize what I need to do in terms of software development. It's not like, bomb, one day and then it's this, right? It takes a lot of development work. And then we start right as then, I think, February.
And Daniel, do you have a geographically dispersed team, or everybody's based in Vietnam? I think your CMO is based in India, right? Or
No. She's also right now in Vietnam. We have
yeah.
we have our CTOs in the US, and we have majority of the team are right now based in Vietnam. We'll probably expand our team soon, perhaps to Singapore or Malaysia, but likely definitely in South Asia for time for the time difference is not too much. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Certainly a lot of capability. And I know, Daniel, we've been talking about partnering and positioning this tool in some of the mid-market enterprise type of customers. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. And I'm sure you're going to have a tremendous response already on AppSumo, but there is a lot of bright future for writers and right. So I know you touched about some updates. Win, did you have any other things you wanted to cover? Ask any more questions to Daniel, or we can give our audience.
no. I think we've really taken up plenty of your time, Daniel. And thanks so much for coming and shooting the breeze with us and having a conversation, really. But I've actually, just on this call today, I've actually learnt the meta idea behind the workflow. I was looking for that. They're like, okay, what do you do first, and then second, and then third? And I hope people that have been watching this have got that as well. And thanks so much for coming along. I mean, I think it's wonderful what you guys have achieved already.
Yeah, and we are going to do a giveaway at the maybe later this evening or tomorrow. I'll take down all the names and go live and do the giveaway for 2 writers and accounts. So there will be 2 separate winners. I know there are 2 different sessions of this call. One which got interrupted due to lag, and this one. So I'll take down the names and then we'll enter them into the draw. Now, also, so there's very few tools which we actually recommend. So Writers and would be one of them. So I highly recommend it. So check it out.
Thanks, Alish.
And when Win recommends something as well, I do take it very seriously. So that was his recommendation. He's been doing all the talking with you on the back end. So thanks a lot, Win, for
thanks, Nilesh.
Yeah. And we'll just see if we have any other closing comments. Jason, thank you. Daniel probably going to get a call from Tim Cook tomorrow. That's regarding your UI and UX. Thank you so much, guys. That's Joe. For this, guys, learned even more about WriterZen. Ditya Sharma, that's great. Sam, Sajwal, Jason, I appreciate everybody's support here. So, and Lyle as well. Lyle, happy birthday in advance. I hear it's your birthday coming up. So, happy birthday. And Felipe has had a comment as well. We covered everybody. So, shout out to everybody out here. Jenny Jones, Paula, Vikrant Patil, everybody who's there, right? So if I miss something, I apologize. I'll still enter them into the draw. Daniel, any closing comments before we play off the music and end it, right? So go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I think thank you very much. Thank you, Nilesh. Thank Winnie, and thanks to everyone who watching. It's great to have an opportunity to be able to share a little more on who we are. I'd love to have more opportunity to even share more with you guys on our product development philosophy. I think it's like things that I'm very passionate about, right? Designing certain things, designing a product, designing in a way that help our users not only to use them, but also to make them feel good while using it. That's what good design are for, right? And I think every piece of software out there should be crafted, not simply make, right? I mean, and so that's like always been my passion, and I want to share that with a lot of also even with other founders. It's important to make sure our users feel good when they use the tool, right?
Yeah.
Feels good when they interact with your software.
100%. Make the world a better place,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Okay, so with that, I wish you a lot of success, Daniel, with WriterZen and the remaining days with your AppSumo campaign. I'm sure you're going to be engaged in the community. We would like you to be a part of it, and we're going to use WriterZen, and everybody's going to, looking forward to the future and how it develops further, right? So, cheers to that, and cheers to WriterZen. And thank you, Daniel, so
Thanks,
much.
Nish.
Thanks
Thank
a lot,
you.
guys. Okay.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah,
Thank you very
appreciate
much,
it,
guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.